Listen, I love baseball to death. I'm a baseball guy. But I won't lie to you. That All-Star game, that was boring to me. What is going on, everyone? The American League takes down the National League 4-3 in the All-Star game. I hate to be that guy, and I understand how baseball works. I understand the beauty of it. I understand the beauty of pitching. I know that it was a pitcher's duel through the first 5 innings. But when I'm watching an All-Star game, I don't want to see a pitching duel. Post-game, you hear all the baseball purists, all the analysts. Wow, the Justin Verlander matchup with Freddie Freeman, it was fantastic. The breaking balls. I know how spectacular that is, and I admire it throughout the normal, regular season of baseball, and I understand that these pitchers are fantastic and they're all-stars as well, just like the hitters are. But this is an environment where you want to see explosiveness, you want to see power, you want to see offense. No one goes to the All-Star game to see spectacular pitching. That's reality. Even though that's a part of the game, reality is you want to see plays, you want to see offense, and it really wasn't all there today, and it made me ask myself this question. I always state, and I feel like a lot of sports fans do, that the MLB All-Star Game is one of the best All-Star Games, if not the best. And is that because of the fact that nothing else is on? We value the All-Star Game because what else were you watching tonight when it comes to sports? The World Series of Poker? I don't even know if that was on, but that's something that I feel like is thrown on ESPN around this time. Do we value the MLB All-Star Game higher because there's nothing else to tune into? Now, I will counter by saying this. Baseball is one of the only All-Star games where the players play just as hard and the same way than they would in the regular season. Basketball, alley-oops, running up and down the court, which I still love, but they don't play the same way. They don't play just as hard. These competitors in baseball, they're throwing just as hard for the most part. They're trying to smoke the baseball. Hockey, they do the 3-on-3 tourney. They're gliding, trying to dangle. But at the same time, that's fun. That's entertaining. It's awesome because it's fast-paced. Things are happening. Plays are being made. It didn't have it for me tonight. Really, it didn't, which is crazy. I thought the Homerun Derby was way more entertaining. I take the storyline out of these 2 days here, the MLB All-Star break, Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Jock Peterson in the second round. That's what I take out of it. The entertainment value for tonight compared to what I saw last night in the Homerun Derby, complete opposites. Complete opposites. The NL had one chance in this ballgame, and that was in the 8th. They were down 4-1. I thought Torres could have made a play at shortstop. Coming off of Pete Alonso's bat. He doesn't. It gets by him. It's 4-3. And the National League was not able to knock in another run there with men on second and third, 2 outs. That was the only time in the game where it got interesting, where there was like a heat of the moment. I respect Bieber, and I thought the strikeouts was awesome, and I thought the manager getting all pumped up and fired up in the dugout, I thought that was awesome. But reality is, when Bieber is your MVP, and I'm not trying to knock it. I enjoy the All-Star games for the most part. But tonight, I expected some more entertainment value than what I was given. I love pitching duels. I really do. Throughout the season, watching Aaron Nola do it. And realistically, that's the only pitcher in the Phillies starting rotation that will probably have a chance to do it. Ever. I love pitching duels. I'm a baseball guy. One of the only few that really love enjoying a matchup where both pitchers go 8 innings. Each team has 2 hits each. I love that. I embrace it. But not at an All-Star game. I want to see explosive plays, the crowd going nuts, homers left and right. Now let's get to this Joe Buck conversation during the game thing. I think the concept is great, and it's awesome to see how these players react with one another in the field. You have the outfielders all mic'd up at the same time. Brantley, Bregman, who else was it? Springer, all mic'd up at the same time, communicating. But boy, was that cringe. I actually praised Joe Buck the other day talking about baseball, saying, I like Joe Buck on the call when it comes to the World Series. It makes it feel like baseball's big. The interview thing today, great concept. I love the concept, but the execution was poor. Cringeworthy questions, just the communication factor between the two. Even when Francisco Lindor was getting asked questions, and he was even talking to the umpire at one point, and Joe Buck made a statement, I believe, to the fans saying, in case you didn't know, the umpire's name is blank, and Francisco Lindor was like, I know who he is. Well, no, he was talking to the fans. It wasn't all around on the same page. And I thought some of the questions was bad. I don't know what to tell you. But I think it's cool to see the players interact with one another. I wish there was a way to have people mic'd up throughout the regular season games. They don't have to be talking to the commentator throughout, because you can tell they're engaged and ready to go every play. They have pop to them every pitch. From that aspect of it, you don't want to interrupt them during the game, but why can't we have them just mic'd up talking and play that throughout the broadcast? I think that would be very entertaining. That's something I would completely build off of if I'm the MLB and I see that. The year of the long ball, and we get some small ball plays. You can argue that, listen, that was fun. There was defensive plays. There was some small ball. You had Joey Gallo's bomb. It was good speed. It wasn't a long game, which is true, which is fair. But come on, you're telling me you don't want to see a 9-8 game with 4 dingers, 5 dingers involved? You don't want to see one guy get 4 hits that night and really be explosive? How much does Bieber winning the MLB or the MVP? How much does that spark you up? How fired up are you to see Bieber win the MVP? Come on. With all due respect, no one wants to see that. So if you couldn't tell, I'm disappointed. Because that was the only thing on. Like I said, what else is there on? Nothing. That was the only sporting event I had on. I had my feet up, dog licking my face. You know how it goes. Then he starts snoring. Come on, I can't hear the game. Which maybe that's a good thing, so I didn't have to hear Joe Buck's questions. But I had the feet up, relaxing, had my late night coffee, watching some baseball. And I was underwhelmed. But I will say, if that was a Phillies game, I probably would have been okay with it. I guess my expectations going into this thing would be this bloodbath. It would be this offensive powerhouse back and forth. Didn't Blackman hit a bomb, now that I'm thinking about it? Blackman did hit a bomb. Okay. All right. So, hey, 2 bombs. 2 bombs. I don't know how I would forget that. The Beard comes in and smacks one out of the park. Come on, Broads. Be better than that. I want to hear your thoughts. Was the Homerun Derby better for you? Because you can argue throughout the years the Homerun Derby has been dead. So maybe that's a good thing. It's a good thing that the Derby was better, because that shows you that it's growing, that there's more entertainment value in there. The game is what it is, right? You can't control that. Some baseball games are 2-1 and boring and slow. Some baseball games 13-11, it's fantastic. Some games are 8-6 and there's a good mixture of both. There's some slow parts of some pitching duels, but there's some great offense. It can go either way, any way. You can't control that. But with what I got today, I wasn't a blast. Now we have a couple days off until we come back together here. In terms of the Phillies, JT Real Mucho went out there and he flied out to first base in foul territory, and he struck out to Chapman, who was throwing 100 miles per hour out of the bullpen to close the game. The ninth inning, 4-3, they were down. Come on, JT, get on base. We need you. We need you. Get on base. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But the Mets, Pete Alonso, he stepped up big. For whatever that means. But does it suck watching Ronald Acuna Jr. out there and Freddie Freeman being all-stars? Doesn't it suck watching them go out there because you know that you're going to have to play against them for years to come? From a baseball perspective, I love them. They're fantastic players. From a Phillies perspective, you're going to have to see these guys year after year after year after year? No. No. Please no. So with that being said, let me hear it. Let me hear it down below. I'm sure there are plenty of people who enjoyed this baseball game. For some reason, I was underwhelmed. I don't know why. The offensive power, maybe, wasn't there. There wasn't enough juice. The runs were scattered out. The eighth inning was the only real surge, if you will. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.